windows.
Store windows. So yeah, we're gonna call it the generic stream Hemingway edition. Thank you and welcome to the latest edition of Generic Stream. I am your host, Ben Wheeler, and I'm here with Anthony Marchetta. Anthony, how are you doing today?
uh, my brain's fried, but I've had a fine day overall.
Thank you and welcome. Yep, fantastic. I've got my boss's mother as my first assistant manager tomorrow, and I don't like it. Like
I,
yeah.
I was just going to say I will not be talking about my job, but go ahead, keep going.
Well, it's like I work at a gas station, and that narrows it down only slightly. And man, I wish I was.
Oh, if it's a gas station, I bet I could find you. There are so few.
I know, right? Can you imagine it? Me, Ben Wheeler, working at a gas station. It's
It
actually
boggles the
horrible.
mind.
I don't like it. I'm pretty done. I'm pretty done, honestly.
It's okay, Ben. Just think of Vietnam. It's the land of milk and honey.
Chat disabled. Why is the chat disabled? Why is the chat disabled?
People who don't follow us weekly, which first off, if you're new and you're tuning in, number one, why? Number two, thank you. But if you are one of those people, Ben has been trying to raise the money to get to Vietnam for a while now. And he has been working incredibly hard.
Yes.
And in the meantime, yep. And while he's been doing that, I too started a new job that I will not be talking about. But I have also been working hard, though I will freely admit that Ben has been working harder. And that does not upset me. Because, Ben, I don't want to work as hard as he.
I'm only working this hard because I have a specific goal in mind. If I don't have it, it's like it doesn't work. Where is the chat?
The thing is that my own natural temperament, like if it were all up to me, I would be doing like nothing all day, and I wouldn't be improving myself or doing anything. So I have to set goals for myself, and it's really nice to have this new job because it allows me that if I do take time to goof off, I don't feel guilty about it because I know at least, like, you know what, I actually have been working hard, so I'm not. So I feel somewhat justified in doing that. Mind you, I can't goof off right now. That's the Hemingway half of the stream. So, the other thing for people who don't know is, as one of the writers for Pinkerton's Ghosts, I am currently in the middle of working on episode 12. I wanted to get it done like 4 days ago, but I've had like a really busy week with work. So even though the story has not been a particularly bad one to write, comparatively speaking to other Pinkerton stories, I've been going slower on it than I want to. And I really, really want to get it done before tomorrow. So I will be writing episode 12 of Pinkerton's Ghosts on stream, just as Hemingway used to write his short stories in store windows while people gawked at him.
I can't imagine doing that.
No, it sounds incredibly boring, but people did it.
Look at him, and he's just sitting there sipping his coffee, except it's not coffee. It's incredibly potent alcohol.
Just pure alcohol.
It's basically Everclear. Who am I kidding? It's not just basically. It is Everclear.
Yep.
And it's like, here's the thing. I would have been in Vietnam in like August if it wasn't for the virus. And it drives me bonkers. Like it's like this job is starting to, like, here's the thing. It's a good paying job. I'm good at it. If I stuck with it, I could be a district supervisor in like 10 to 20 years. All right. And I could be making like
bank.
Just absolute bank. you guys don't know it, but gas station top tier management makes abs percentages of their sales, right? You think that's not
Oh,
that great?
seriously? No,
Yeah.
that is great.
Well, but then it's like, yeah, because like I make 0.004% of a month's take, and I still make $300+ during pandemic times. I'm making a percent of a percent of a percent, and I still add an entire paycheck to my paycheck. As it goes up, you just get more. A manager makes 1 point something percent of her store. Uh, and plus a six figure salary and all kinds of other crazy stuff. So if you think about it, even a slow store like my own, that's still like $1,000 plus a month, plus the six figure salary, plus all the bonuses and special benefits a manager gets. Like managers in the gas station world, if it's not a crappy company, will be making absolute bank. And I don't want to do it.
That's fun.
I don't want to do it. I'm like, here's the thing. Like, I could, like, totally do the thing where I work this job, but honestly, I'd rather just like be a construction worker. Like the more I do customer service, and it's like the more I just hate it. Like working a gym
Well, yeah,
was
because it's the worst.
right, but working a gym was fun. It was like people who wanted to improve themselves, and honestly, I was the manager who didn't really deal with customers. Um, but now I'm forced to do it all the time, and most of it's just me like sitting there like some sort of NPC idiot. Thank you, come again soon. Thank you. Stay safe out there. Welcome to Corneria. How can I help you? And it's like I'm
I
I'm
mean,
s- I'm so over it. I'm so over it, but I'm
I
stuck
worked
with
at
it.
Walmart for 7 years, Ben. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about the Walmart job. It was awful. There was a period where it was really, really miserable. Uh, but with that said, there was a point where last year I started working like a second job, and at one point I was even working three jobs. But
Ugh.
while working, and while working at Walmart, and then all of a sudden it was like my whole attitude towards it just went through this monumental shift, and now suddenly I don't really mind it anymore. Like it's before it was just miserable thing I was forced to do, and I hated it, and now it's just like it's gas money.
Yep.
Yeah, how bad is it? It's what is it? It's easy work. That's what it is.
The thing is that
It's a
it's not easy work. It's me standing in front of people for 9 hours, and then I still have to run around and fix things and manage other people and do a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like
sure, but
I'm just pretty done
at
with
least
it.
with Walmart, I have not, I can't comment on the gas station job, but at least with Walmart, yeah, you're running around doing everything that whole time. But I can get home and I could literally never think about it ever again, which is not the case with my current job. So my much preferable, much better paying current job. Walmart though, even though it's not a fun job, it's also just like now it's just gas money. It's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You gotta keep the land of milk and honey in your vision though.
I do. Like it's one of those things where like it keeps me going because these things like just drive me crazy. Because it's like I had a guy, he, and this is just going to be like I guess complaining about work stream. All right, that's what it is. Um,
Nah, I don't really have much to add after this.
actually,
So
neither do I.
keep
But
going though.
so like for one of my overnights, and I absolutely hate my overnights. Basically
No,
this
my
I had
Discord
this.
froze. I can't hear anything.
Oh my
My
gosh.
computer's not good.
I'm still gonna talk
Okay, keep going.
though. Basically, I had a donut. I clearly had a donut, and it was my donut. And it's important, okay? This guy looks at it, picks it
The
up.
start of the story.
Right. This guy picks it up and he goes, "Hey man, can I have this donut?" "No, it's my donut. What are you doing?" "Well, I want this donut." "Can I eat it?" "No, throw it away." And he acted like I had insulted him. And I was like, "This is my donut. What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with these people?"
That's fantastic.
Uh, I'm full of pain. And these things just sort of drive me crazy. I wish chat worked. I have no idea why there's no chat for this live stream. Like it's frustrating me. Uh, but that's okay. Anyway, so let's talk about Hemingway. Actually, ooh, there it is. Enable live chat. No, why? If you set, but it's not made for kids. Did I accidentally make this thing for kids? Whoops. There we go. This is not for kids. Hold on. Hold on. I'll get us live check, my boys. All right. There it is. Woo! Yeah, this was not for kids. I hope nothing happens with that. But we'll be fine. Anyway, I'm going to play as a Lizard Aztec. Lizard Aztec. So let's talk about Hemingway. Why in the world did he just, like, write and shop things for people to do it? Like, was it a money thing? Did people throw money at him like a chimpanzee? I need to know, Anthony. Oh my goodness, he disconnected. I've been talking to myself the entire time. Ah! I need a Monster Energy. I need the stream to be over. I don't know who's real and who's not. Hold on. Hope you guys appreciated my ASMR. ASMR over. I can't believe Belle Delphine charges for this. And I can just click open a monster and sip it down whenever I want. Feel free to chat and tell me what horrifying jobs that you guys have. Because I want to know. I need to know. I mean, can you imagine a man's job is literally just sit in a window and have people watch you write? I cannot imagine it. I don't want to imagine it, but I must. Come back here, you little rat. Let's do it. So, welcome back to my Minecraft live stream. I'm your host, 420X Sniper 69. I want to thank you for watching. So, I recently watched something about Hemingway that I thought was quite interesting. Apparently, his father killed himself too. And so I've been sort of like wondering if I gave Hemingway like the dirty touch. Because, like, if his thing was that actually, it's sort of like a familial sin. They're coming in from behind. The rats are coming in from behind. Uh, if it's a familial sin that he fell victim to, like that's a different thing from what I was thinking about. You see, like a lot of these things, the heck, because like a lot of these things you see that people talk about it, like ultimately, I believe that people's philosophy out, like people live to their philosophy. I've talked about this before, where they're charge into the Skaven. Uh, right into their faces, right into their stinking rat faces. Slaughter them all. The gods will be pleased. Go in here, baby. There he is. What was I doing? All right, slaughtering lizardmen. So, if it was more of a familial sin, CVWX, half clerk, half paperwork, warehouse, border, and government agency. Nice. The last 2 weeks have been bad, though. No. Who would have thought? I'm sorry. I'm being mean. It's like I can't
Oh,
imagine. Oh, hey, Anthony.
I've returned.
I can't
Discord
imagine being
kicked
a
me out.
government worker. Why? Ho, 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 ho.
So, on the discussion docket for today. Hey, okay, we got our chat working. Cool. Anyway, on the discussion docket for today, I watched, I think, 5 or 6 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen. I watched Tanakawa Over the Moon with You, which is a slice of life show. Uh, and it's terrible, and I've watched every episode. It's one of those shows. What else? Oh, no, that's it. That's all of it. That is everything that I have watched because this season is such trash.
It is trash. Like, what can you even do?
So Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't think is actually that great. I want to like it more. Everybody seems to love it. So if you remember, God of High School was like really criticized for, even though the fight scenes were awesome, it had like this nonsense plot. Yeah, which is true, by the way. I actually prefer God of High
Wait.
School, I think, to
Yep.
Jujutsu Kaisen. And Jujutsu Kaisen is okay. Like, it's fine, but honestly, there's not enough action to it. And I'm also not a fan of what they're doing with the stakes.
Yeah.
So, in the most recent episode series of episodes, our boy protagonist Kun, I think his name's Itadori. So, but he's like every shonen protagonist. So we're gonna call him Protagonist Kun. Anyway, our boy Protagonist Kun dies, and he dies very, very. I'm trying to think of the right word to use here. Like, he is dead. He is so dead. His heart is ripped out, and it's dropped on the ground. So, for people who don't know the premise of
Or who
Jujutsu
don't know
Kaisen,
how deadly having your heart ripped out and stuck on the ground
yeah, right.
is.
It's very. I was gonna say the premise of Jujutsu Kaisen. So he has the thing is that like a demon is like inside of him, and and if the demon takes over his body, then it's gonna kill everybody. So at this point, like, and he has full control over his body at the moment. Like, our boy protagonist Kun, the reason that he's still alive, even though the demon is inside of him, is because it seems as if he can control whether or not him or the demon is the one controlling the body. But right now, Demon is in control of his body, and he rips out his heart, and he says, "So I can survive with no heart, but if Protagonist Kun switches back with me and takes control of the body, he will die immediately." And sure enough, this obviously happens. Protagonist Coon gets his body back and then drops dead. And they go, yep, he's dead. They start off the next episode. We see his heart. It's lying on the ground. Protagonist Coon's body has a massive hole in the middle of it. He is very dead.
Look at this dude.
And then the episode ends with them going like, oh, but what if he's not dead? And then I was like, so I guess there are no stakes then. Cool. Like, if ripping your heart out and throwing it onto the ground is not enough to mean death in this universe, I guess that there is no such thing as death. Death cannot happen. I'll never need to worry about it again. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not like that. Even though I did appreciate how he comes back to life was pretty funny. Like Demon Guy goes, "Hey, so I can bring you back if you want." It's like all I want to make a deal. I get 1 minute of control of the body where I can do what I want. And
Ooh.
Protagonist Coon, of course, says no. That's a terrible idea. No deal. And he goes,
Oh.
"Okay, how about this? Get, I'll bring you back. I get 1 minute, but in that 1 minute, I'm not allowed to hurt or kill anybody." And Protagonist Coon says, "Yeah, no deal." She goes, "Okay, how about this? Third offer. We fight. And if I win, I'll bring you back. Then, if you win, I'll just bring you back. No conditions. But if I win, I bring you back, and you need to listen to my conditions." And Protagonist Goon goes, "You know what? I'll take that deal. That's great. I'll just beat you down." Then he dies immediately. Demon Guy just kills him in one hit. And
Wow.
I have to admit, I did laugh at that. He's just like, right, I win. He
That
goes,
is pretty
so my
funny.
conditions. But with that said, I just don't like I just don't like what they did on a philosophical level because it just ruins the stakes to me. Like I now have no idea what any injury means anymore, or what it
Mm-hmm.
mean, or what danger is. You know, it. The fights aren't cool enough to justify it. I'll say one thing about God of High School. God of High School, it's true. The fights were extremely cool, if nothing else.
There was that
I
one
mean,
chick with the big breasts and the wrestling moves, and he didn't tell me about her.
that's because I literally forgot about her till you brought her up just now.
Ree?
Now that you say it, oh yeah, that chick. She was a thing. She was in it. Uh,
Ree.
I'll also say that in terms of annoying waifus, you know that God of High School has Mira, the sword chick, who's an annoying tsundere. Uh, what's it called? Jujutsu Kaisen. I think that the female waifu is even more annoying than the one in God of High School, if that's possible.
Wow. I.
Not a fan of the female character in it. I don't know. I'm slightly disappointed in Jujutsu Kaisen. I guess it does have the production values that I was promised, but I don't think it makes use of it enough. I'm not really very impressed with the story. And I am pretty easy to please with this type of thing. I thought Demon Slayer was the shit. So, it's not like I'm a hard sell with shonen action series.
No one should be.
Nope. So I'm really just marking the time on this season till the promise to be awesome winter 2021 comes with its billion different awesome shows. And the other show was recommended by Ken Dickinson. It was Tanakawa Over the Moon with You. That was the only other show I've been watching this. The, the only other show I have been watching this season is Tanakawa. It's terrible. It's a terrible show. But I can't stop watching it. I put on every episode. And I was watching it with my brother and my sister was watching, and she said, I don't get it. Why do you like this? It's terrible. And then by the end of the episode, she said, okay, I see what you mean now. It's like, I get it now. So Tanakawa is the slice of life thing. It's about a boy is hit by a car and almost killed at the beginning. He's almost isekai'd, but this is not an isekai, probably. Unless it's stealth isekai, and we learn this later, but I don't think it is. Anyway, so our boy new protagonist Kun, whose name is NASA, I think, and I actually kind of like him, so I'm gonna call him NASA. I'll call him by his real name in show. And our boy NASA is hit by a car and nearly killed, but he survives because this random teenage girl jumps in front and takes the brunt of the hit. And she is only mildly injured, whereas he needs like intense physical therapy. And he asks the girl, he falls in love with her at first sight, and then says, so what'll it take for you to go out with me? And then she goes, oh, well, if you want me to go out with you, you'll have to marry me. So he says, done, I'll find you. So then in like 2 years, it cuts 2 years later, he's undergone physical therapy. He gets a job near to where the accident was in the hope that one day he'll see the girl again. And like, he was gonna go on to like a nice school, but instead he takes a convenience store job in the area so that he could, keep an eye out for the girl. And then he finds her, and he sees her, and he says, hey, remember me? He goes, so are we? He go, let's get married. And she says, okay. And that's the show. They get married, and then there's a show, and that's it. That is the whole thing. And we don't know what's going on with any of the supernatural stuff yet. Don't know a thing about it. Uh, all of the jokes are the most basic, like bottom of the barrel. I could have thought that up type jokes. You know,
And
you
let's
think
be real. His scripts are not funny. His scripts, they're like this. He reads them out in a monotone, and I sit there with a shocker, and I have a little shocker, and I hit the shocker, and there's this gentleman, we'll say, in his room who just goes up, slaps him, and then he starts getting energetic again. It's this homeless guy I picked up from LA and transported to the East Coast. He has never experienced a winter. He has no idea what I've given him. See, it wasn't funny until I brought in the fact that there's this homeless guy who doesn't know winter.
yeah, that was pretty funny. So, yeah, Mega Buster Shepherd says almost turned into an isekai by the sounds of it. Yeah, it, but it did not. I gotta give it some credit for that. It didn't. So I'll give the show credit for a few things. The first is that our main boy has a personality. I mean, like, I know that this is literally the bare minimum for writing, but that immediately puts it ahead of almost every isekai ever made. So, points for that. He's like he's this well-meaning but nerdy kind of guy. Uh, and he's just like a really nice dude, and he's smart and that sort of thing. Uh, that's and it's just as generally, I can understand why Ken likes it. It's very wholesome. It is a very wholesome show. You know, it's not funny per se. It's not good, but it makes you smile. It's sort of like, I think it has sort of the same appeal as the Helpful Fox Senko-san, but not quite as blatant in its pandering. I mean, the only reason it's not quite as blatant is because you literally can't get any more blatant than Senko-san was. I mean,
Yes,
the entire show was pandering. Like, that
yes.
was the explicit purpose for its existence.
Chad,
And
yes.
Chad, yes. Uh, this show, at least like it has a plot, but oh my god, like it feels like it's the first easiest version of every joke. I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example to ask. Oh, all right. So main girl has a sister, you know, and the main girl, I do not remember her name. Her thing is that she's really into movies and into manga, and and my sister goes, "Oh, so it's like a wish fulfillment thing?" And I said, "To be fair, yes, but also our main boy is not. So it's not as bad as it could be in that regard. But whatever, yes, it's totally wish fulfillment. You found a cute waifu who's into manga and, you know, movies and whatever. But whatever. Anyway, she has a sister. What do you think the sister's relation, or like a foster sister? Because remember, there's still like a supernatural angle here. If you if you've ever heard of the story, the tale of the bamboo cutter, like
Mm-hmm.
it's hinted, yeah, it's hinted that she's supposed to be like Kaguya from the tale of the bamboo cutter.
Wow.
Even though like it's in the background and it's there, and presumably they're going to use this to milk some tears out of the ending. And
Mm-hmm.
admittedly, I will admit that if they do the bamboo cutter thing at the end, I will be emotional because that story is inherently it's really sad. But whatever. Anyway, what do you think the relationship of foster sister is with our main girl? Going by your
Hmm.
knowledge of anime tropes.
It's almost disturbingly incestuous. Like the subtext is
Ding 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 ding.
it's almost text. Like it should be just subtext, but it's text.
Oh no, no, it is text. Look, to be fair, I don't know if incest. So, first off, number one, they're foster siblings. Number two, main girl does not reciprocate. But if your first thought was she probably has a thing for her, you are absolutely correct. Yep, you nailed it. And try and guess too. So, she has a foster sister who is into her. What is the foster sister's life like? I want to see if you can guess this one as well.
So I just want to make sure. The wife is um, an adult now, right? She's out of high school.
No, no, oh no, she is 16.
Oh my goodness. He's 16 though, right?
No, nope, he's 18.
Oh no. This is what
Okay,
we
so
boys, hold on. This is what
16
we
to
call
18.
the danger zone.
16 to 18 is not bad.
No,
And they
it's
have
the
a
danger
scene
zone
early.
though.
They have a scene early on. Yeah, they have a scene early on when they go to get married. They go, "So, you're underage. You got parental permission?" And she goes, "Yep," and gives him like an envelope with, I guess, signatures or something in it. And our boy Nasa actually says, "So wait a minute, they don't actually need to be here." And the clerk just goes, "Nope, no, they don't." And he goes, "Oh, okay then." He's like, "That seems weird, but whatever."
I'm already too deep in to leave.
He's like, because she says something like, "So you really want to do this?" Like, "Yeah, I want to do this." It's like, "I'm in." And then he's like thinking to himself, "Is this a really bad idea?" And he's like, whatever."
The
But
answer
I'm
was
curious.
yes.
It is a bad idea, but so this is my second question for you. Knowing what you know now, so she's into waifu, right? Her quote unquote, foster sister. Which immediately, congratulations, you guessed it, right?
By the way, her foster sister's 14 and still in high school.
Uh, I don't think so. I think
Oh,
good guess. It's a fair point, but it's a fair guess. But I think she's older. I think she's the older sister.
oh no.
Although they might be, remember, it's foster sister, so they might even be the same age. I'll have to double check that, but whatever. What do you think? Like, I'm trying to figure out how to word this in the right way.
I think I
What is
messed up.
her life like?
She's a
The
drunk.
sister.
She's drunk.
No,
Okay.
no. Think of your knowledge of Japanese and anime tropes. What
She's
is the most likely? What is her life most likely like? Her sister.
she doesn't have kids and she wants kids.
No, fair guesses, but no. It's even simple. It's more fundamental than that.
Hmm.
Give you one more shot before I tell you,
Just
because I'm
you have to just spoil it for me.
you got nothing.
I got nothing. I'm sorry.
She's rich. Isn't this
Oh,
obvious? Come on.
it wasn't.
Wasn't she always going to be rich? Don't you think that she has two maids whose personalities you could pick out of a hat?
So one's a deadpan snarker and the other one's super energetic.
Uh, yeah, more or less. It's more like one's really ditzy and kind of dumb and has big breasts, and the other wears glasses, and that's her personality. Wears
Yes,
glasses is the personality.
yes. I have a friend who is trying to set me up. I'm pretty sure with a bunch of different Vietnamese girls, and he's been sending me these pictures of his teacher assistants. Now, listen, I want you guys to listen very carefully. One of the shameful things of my life is
I don't
that
know why this is so funny to me. Keep
no,
going.
it is funny. It is legitimately funny. So he he seems to not understand that I lost my job at Club Fitness, a job which I loved very dearly. Do I even want to? Anyway, to the fact that I dated inside the company, shall we say? Uh, Skanks, you little battle slaves. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, they're just the teacher assistants, and like he's like, this one has glasses. This one also doesn't have glasses. Which one do you like better? Glasses. Oh, and I'm like, I am losing this battle badly.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat, and the chat's pretty funny today.
The chat is pretty
Someone said,
funny. Highway to the danger zone. All right, that's pretty funny.
Inter- interlocking fingers, highway to the danger zone.
So there I was,
Oh yeah,
interlocking
so by the
fingers.
way, we're 5 episodes in. What do you think is the raunchiest thing that's happened between our married couple so far? That's here. This another, you know, from what you know of the sort of show and the people this show is probably trying to appeal to.
They've held
What do you
hands.
think?
They've held hands. Come on, baby, it's the Satan
They
clap.
went a little bit. They went one step further. There were, as the main character called it, this was the translation, smooches.
Yes, I have.
They had an extremely obnoxious scene where he kisses her and then the wife calls him a perv. And and that made me want to die because I said, "You're married." Like, girl, you're married. What are you even talking about?
Are you
Your
sure she's
husband kissed
16?
you in
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
right? Your husband kissed you in a park. You're married. That does not make him a perv. Like,
In
what are you even?
public.
There wasn't even anyone around. Although, because this is a bad anime, the sister was spying on her with the maids at the time.
So one's a ninja. So I would be utterly losing this battle if my frog spirit wizard couldn't glass the sight from orbit. I just want to make that clear.
So I have the video on pause right now, so I literally have no clue what you're talking about.
You should. It's. I'm playing Warhammer,
Ah, I see. Okay.
and I'm basically down to two of my hero and uh, Lord Croak, who can, as I mentioned earlier, glass things from orbit.
So for everything that I've said, you can understand the appeal immediately of this show, right? It appeals to people who want a young, cute girl to be married to and be wholesome with. And that means that the main appeal is probably people who are slightly younger than me and slightly older than high school age. Maybe high school, like senior year, end of high school age. Tanakawa would appeal to. But I admit to seeing the appeal enough that I have watched every episode and I'm gonna watch the next one. And I don't even like it. Cringe every time. But you know what? I keep watching it.
Delightful.
I showed it. I told you, like I watched it with my siblings, and my sister's first reaction was, "Why are you watching this? This is terrible." By the time the episode ended, she goes, "Okay, I get it now. I understand."
No, Lord Crook, no.
uh, it should tell you, by the way, something I think about Jujutsu Kaisen, that I have more to say about this generic bargain bin slice of life romantic comedy thing than I do about Jujutsu Kaisen. If you know anything about shonen, it's like every shonen except that the production values aren't as good as Demon Slayer. Mega Buster Shepherd says you watch it because it's on and it's anime. Yes and no. I try to avoid, as Ben knows, I try to avoid doing that as a matter of course and watch things that I actually like watching. Uh, yeah, and I, of course, also try to avoid anything that I think is going to be mentally or spiritually harmful to me, since we are good Christian men who take this very seriously.
Yes.
Hold on. What was the third thing that I had to talk about? Because there was a third. It was only those two anime, because those two anime are the only things that are even slightly worth watching. And both of them, by the way, I don't recommend the second show. I do not recommend Tanakawa Over the Moon with You. I do kind of recommend Jujutsu Kaisen if you're a fan of shonen action series, because I guess it's pretty well made and it's kind of fun. Demon Slayer's better, but it's good, I guess. There's not much to it. But the other thing that I watched, so my sister again got me into this because she likes a lot of the same stuff I do, and she was watching. You know that YouTubers, like YouTube. When I say YouTubers, I mean YouTube personalities. You know, sometimes if they get really popular, they will branch out into books and things. And there was this YouTuber who branched out into poetry. I literally cannot remember the name of this YouTuber, even if I wanted to. So I want to say maybe it was Lily Singh, but I don't know if it was her. It doesn't matter at all. But she wrote a book of awful poetry, and my sister linked me to this woman who did named Rachel Oates, who did poetry, who did a like in-depth poetry reviews of this person, and I could not care less about the YouTuber, and I also don't really like poetry, and I have never read this book. But I always appreciate well done analysis, so I gave it a look, and it's like an hour long, you know, review of her two poetry, an hour long review of one poetry book, and another hour long review of her second poetry book that she came out with. And this woman's name, the critic, is Rachel Oates, and I don't know. She was fine. She was interesting, I guess. Uh, and Rachel Oates did what I hate that critics do. She started it off by saying, first off, everything I'm about to say is subjective. If you like it, you like it. It's all subjective, 100%. But then our girl, poetry, the poet, you know, whose name I don't know or care about. She comes up with like a response video, just a general responding to my critics, where she says that the criticism, against her really doesn't matter since she's only making the poetry for people who already like this sort of poetry. And this pisses the critic off because she says that's an excuse. You're not, you're avoiding improving your craft. When I was like, but what critic, Oates, Rachel Oates, what exactly are you pissed about? You were the one who said yourself initially. You said it. All art is subjective. If you like it, that makes it good. Everything I'm talking about has to do with technical aspects, but if it works for you, it works. So, our poet girl is exactly correct. She says the criticism against me doesn't matter because it's not for the people who don't like it. It's for the people who do like it, so I'm going to continue making it the way I do for those people. And since all art is subjective, then you have no grounds to complain about this or to call it lazy or anything because you just said it yourself. You said all art is subject. Oh, and it just drives me nuts because it's like you're just undermining the entire point of what you're doing.
I've been paying more attention to how I say things in reviews. If I feel like I'm undermining my point or interfering with my ability to like make a confident statement, I just change it up or I say it different or anything.
I learned going through her videos. What was that?
If I find myself making a statement that could put any chinks in the armor of my argument, I just changed what I'm going to say.
Well, yeah, that's called not being a dumbass.
Shut up, it's hard in this day and age. It's hard and no one understands.
I understand. So manga we're discussing in our live chat manga we're reading. Uh, did you read the latest chapter of JoJo?
I did.
It was quite good.
It was. It was interesting actually. Um, like I didn't expect it to be that interesting. But it was. Like honestly, I've been having kind of issues with JoJo, like JoJolian, compared to uh,
Previous parts.
previous parts, just because it's not something I really care for, and you know, I like some, I like some, I like me some excellent. Um, I like me some excellent action scenes and so on and so forth. But it's like, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. Not as interested in it as I have been other chapters.
Uh, I'm I'm actually now. It sounds bad because I remember reading it and liking it, but I'm struggling to remember what what happened this last chapter.
So,
What? Oh yeah, we learned. Don't we learn that she met Toru when she was a little girl?
yes. So we learned that
Yasuho. We
Yasuho
learn
met Toru,
Yasuho.
that anything is can trigger the wonder of you. The wonder of you.
and and that also it was one of those things where I think it was assumed, but I don't think it had been confirmed until now. But Toru is the head doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it had been confirmed until now, though everybody just kind of seemed to assume it. And I do really, really want to know if he's actually gonna kill off Rai or Ray. I don't even know how you pronounce it.
I mean,
You know, Mamazuku.
yes, let's do it. Let's kill off it. We haven't had a dead Joe Bro in 10 stinking years.
That's true. Damn. You're exaggerating a little, but a long time.
I'm not. Joe Jolian has been going on for 9 years.
Man, wow. Kill off Mamazuku, Araki, do it. No, actually, I don't want him to. I like Mamazuku. I hope Mamazuku survives. Uh,
Yeah, me too.
My Hero, My Hero Academia remains amazing. There was no chapter this week, which is a shame because it ended on the cliffhanger. Uh,
The classic
I don't
maneuver.
even know. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this arc anymore at this point, except like it's been so good every single week, just absolutely fantastic, week after week after week. Probably there are like at least 3 chapters in this arc that would probably rank in my top 5 chapters in the series. Shigaraki's Awakening, which is probably my favorite chapter in the series, actually, just for the trippy visuals alone. Yeah, when Shigaraki wakes from the cocoon,
Yes.
that chapter is fantastic. Bakugo's sacrifice, when Bakugo shoves himself in front of Shigaraki and sacrifices himself for Deku. And, guys, I guess that's a spoiler, but also it's not, because if you think that Horikoshi is dumb enough to kill Bakugo, then I have a bridge to sell you. He didn't kill Bakugo. And, the last the Dabi chapter. And I guess that one is a spoiler, but it's also another spoiler that everybody knew already anyway, so. But it was done so well. Just so good. It's been so good. Uh, Honestly, I've almost like run out of good things to say about it. I've loved everything about this latest arc. It's been fantastic. I loved Ochako's showdown with Toga was terrific. Dobby's little Joker dance as he told everybody about how Endeavor, used to beat the crap out of him as a child was terrific.
It was. It was like legitimately one of the best things I've ever seen.
You know what made it so good was that everybody knew, right? Like everybody knew that Dobby and guys, we're gonna spoil it now, so oh well. Anyway, we everybody knew Dobby was a Todoroki, right? I mean, it was not even honestly, it was almost not even a twist at that point. So the question is, like, so how does Horikoshi, now that everybody already knows the twist, how can Horikoshi even pull this shit off, right? That won't disappoint people or won't underwhelm people. So Horikoshi did pretty much the only thing that you can do in a situation like this, which is he cranked that dial up to 12. He's like, I'm not just gonna reveal he's a Todoroki. So he has him like ride into the middle of the battle. I think was he on Gigantomachia? I think so.
Yes.
So he rides into the battle on Gigantomachia, like stands in the middle, flexes in front of everyone about how. No, I'm sorry, I'm missing a moment. Takes a bottle of peroxide that he has been carrying around with him, apparently, specifically for this moment, to rinse off his hair and reveal that he has the Todoroki haircut. And then we flash to learn that he has released a little mini documentary interview to the news and put it onto the internet where he reveals his parentage, including the fact that he got a DNA test just to make it extra clear that he was in fact a Todoroki. And as he's telling his father this, and of course Shoto is also there. As he's telling his father and Shoto this, he's just Joker dancing on top of Gigantomachia, doing the friggin' Joker dance before he jumps down and tries to religion of peace them into oblivion. It was amazing, just the best. And then of course Best Genius shows up and saves everybody, but because which it means that it's going to be really interesting writing wise, because my guess is what will happen is this. So now everything that Dobby said is suddenly suspect because one of the things that he revealed is no longer true.
Mm-hmm.
He claimed that Hawks kills Best Genius, but Best Genius is obviously alive. So that means that everybody is waiting for Endeavor to make a statement on it, and if Endeavor says that Dobby lied, he'll probably be able to get away with it. So the next moment in Endeavor's character arc is that probably he's got to make a statement where he publicly admits that everything is true. He has to admit that Dobby was telling the truth. And I'm just looking forward. I really am really, really interested in seeing where the series is going to go next now. So we need so Mega Buster Shepherd wishes we had a clean version of Monster Musume. I'm pretty sure that would miss the point of the show.
You don't understand. You're completely
Ben,
wrong on this, Anthony.
Ben, I think you
Completely
don't
wrong.
understand.
I completely understand. Listen, listen, this is very important. It's not about that. So here's the thing. Like, sure, there's an element of I also want to make sweet, sweet love to the centaur girl. But also, there's an element of wholesomeness. You also want to marry the centaur girl, have a great relationship, so on and so forth. You want to understand the living arrangements, have fun, and have time with her. It's honestly something hard to understand.
Um,
Anthony, you have to.
Here's the thing, though. Every single one of these types of shows, I'm pretty sure without exception, is etchy. So I will submit that if you don't think etchy is the point, the people who are making these shows haven't gotten the memo yet.
Listen, Anthony, was as a manga dao with a snake girl? Absolutely. Was Sengo, oh my goodness. What's the fox one?
Azumanga Daioh with a I've never seen Azumanga Daioh,
What?
and I never will.
Honestly, you're too young for it. Like, here's the thing. Like, technically, we're from two different generations of uh, anime watching. Like, I'm from the day when Yatsuba meant something instead of being the 4chan meme. I remember those days. Those were good days.
What's Azumanga Daioh again? I'm only vaguely remember it.
It's a comedy slice of life anime manga. It was the predecessor to mm, there we go. It was the predecessor to Yatsuba. That's the big thing.
Okay, so what's Yatsuba?
Oh my goodness. It's this is difficult, Anthony. So back when I was in high school, 15 years ago. Not even joking. Yatsuba
I'm
was about,
already loving this explanation.
right? Yatsuba was about this guy who adopts or somehow acquires, probably kidnaps, no one actually knows, a girl, and because she's like 3 or 4, successfully Stockholm syndromes her into believing she's her kid, his kid. The mother and original family is never brought up. So she might be from Hawaii also. Uh, so she has cute and lovely interactions between her and the other family members that live next door. It's a very wholesome show. It's
Yeah.
honestly one of the most wholesome shows that's ever been put out. Like for a while,
Yatsubo or Azumanga Daioh?
both.
I see.
So like back in the day, it was considered a perma bannable offense on 4chan to lewd Yatsuba.
That's hilarious.
I'm not gonna make peace with the disgusting ratman. Who do you think I am? Not an Aztec dinosaur? You gotta be kidding me.
As far as slice of life goes, there are a few that I enjoy. Of course, Denu Coil, which I would consider slice of life. Uh, JoJo's Part 4, also a slice of life. And if you don't think it's a slice of life, rewatch it. It absolutely is.
It absolutely is.
It is entirely non-ironically, not not a meme. JoJo's Part 4 is 100% a slice of life show.
JoJo is part slice of life. Like we're not arguing here. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, I just mean generally. If people doubt me, they hear that JoJo is a slice of life. I encourage you to actually take the time and watch or read or both Part 4. Part 4 is 100% a slice of life. It's the only JoJo slice of life, though Part 8 doesn't feel like a slice of life. I think Part 8 feels like it meanders. Part 4, I think, feels more intentional in that regard. Uh, but I don't know. I've always been like you. I've been one of the skeptics with Part 8. I haven't
Yeah.
liked it as much as other people seem to.
Well, there's a whole bunch of issues with it that aren't necessarily like that it's bad issues. It just doesn't hit it right. Like that's the thing. Like us complaining about JoJo is complaining about how, and we're down to 3 people. 2 people. It includes me. Uh, like it's not there, but like I don't want to talk about JoJo. Like even though the last episode was pretty great, the last chapter, like the biggest thing that it revealed is that Josuke's sister is going to be a character again, and that she's the one taking care of Ma. So it's like that's it. Nothing actually happened. Mega Buster Shepard, I know you're still here, and I love you. I love you. I might beat you, but I also love you. But
uh, I only brought it up in passing to point out that slice of life. So yeah, I would say Denu Coil, which is slice of life, is excellent. JoJo Part 4, quite good. Uh, Ancient Magus Bride is a slice of life, and it is superb. Really, really beautiful show, especially the first half of it, but really the whole thing is good. And my favorite slice of life, and one of my favorite anime period, is Silver Spoon, which is by the Full Metal Alchemist manga creator. Uh, the Hiramu Arakawa written Silver Spoon is a wonderful, wonderful show
it is.
that I highly recommend to everybody. And the nice thing about Silver Silver Spoon is that there's I'm trying to think of how to put it. There's nothing else to it. Like, all of these other shows, there's a reason. Why would you recommend it to someone who doesn't like slice of life? Well, Ancient Magus Bride also has this really cool fantasy world thing going on. JoJo's Part 4, sure, it's slice of life, but it's also JoJo's. Uh, Denu Coil has this sci-fi cyberpunk thing going on with it. And it's like, so why would you recommend Silver Spoon to someone who doesn't love slice of life? And I would be like, well, I kind of wouldn't. Silver Spoon, there is nothing to it. It just is slice of life. It is the high school slice of life show. It's just really, really good. It is top tier because everything Hiramu Arakawa touches turns to gold. Apparently,
Does
she
it?
could just do whatever she wants, and
Yeah, at
it'll
this
be
point.
great. And I wonder if she is making, because she just finished Silver Spoon recently. I'm going to look her up. I wonder if she is doing anything else. I doubt it, because generally manga creators, when they finish a manga, will take a break, because creating a manga is unbelievably labor intensive. So, looking up Hiramu Arakawa.
Good night, Chris.
Sometime will get attacked too, is when Dad dies.
No, I don't think you will, Chris.
Yeah, Mom's okay with it.
All right.
Yeah, she's actually not against statues.
Hiramu Arakawa new series. That's the first link.
Ooh.
Hiramu Arakawa, December 19th, 2019. Hiramu Arakawa will be launching a new manga and weekly Shonen Sunday in the future. That's not helpful. Friggin' thanks. That's a year old.
Oh my goodness,
That's
it's been a year.
That's so annoying. Uh. Did you know that Hiramu Arakawa wrote Boku no Pico?
What?
Do you know? Hiramu Arakawa is the writer of Boku no Pico.
But
I don't know anything about it. I just saw this and I recognized the name.
I don't believe it. You don't understand,
No,
Anthony.
she is the writer.
You don't
Boku
understand.
no
That
Pico
is, it is
critically acclaimed and award-winning.
Anthony.
Written by Hiramu Arakawa.
Anthony, that was the most degenerate piece of yaoi that's ever been written. Like, it was a meme, I want to say 5 years ago, where it was like just taking Boku no Pico and just hitting people with it. Like, so what's a great anime?
Actually, that's funny. It's actually amazing though, because like you could legitimately recommend this on the basis of like it's the creators. I'm hearing people.
Don't worry about it. It's already over. Don't look it up. And actually, Anthony, no. Look it up.
Hold on.
Look it up, Anthony.
Think that might be yeah, that's an ad on my
Come on, Anthony. You can stare into the abyss and
screen.
handle it.
There we go. Okay. So ad up in the background. There we go, that fixed it. So Boku no Pico. Oh, I am looking up. I can't not look it up. It will amuse me greatly to watch it. But whatever. Like I'm looking at the pedigree behind it. The pedigree is amazing, though. By Hiromu Arakawa. It's directed by the person who directed the Big O. There's a video collaboration, and the Pillows do something. Like the Pillows are the ones who did Fooly Cooley, right? Was it Fooly Cooley that they did?
I'm not a Fooly Cooley cultist.
I think. No, I've never liked Fooly Cooley, and I've tried it multiple times. Despite it, this is what the quote. Despite it having certain adult content hidden, it's actually an enjoyable watch for everyone, and it can be described as a lighthearted series, despite it having so much military content. Oh well, there you go, Ben. You must be exaggerating.
You're absolutely right. Anthony, watch it. I haven't even watched all of it. I haven't even. What the?
I will never watch it. Story, caution, spoilers below. Sorry, guys, we're about to ruin the story for you. An effeminate boy named Kiko works at his grandfather's cafe during the summer, hoping to make some friends. He soon meets a man named Tamatsu Makun and becomes close friends with him without knowing he's actually the captain of a private military company that plans to overthrow the current government. Pico gets caught in the middle of the military affair, and the series proceeds showing how the effeminate boy adapts to the whole situation. Uh, yeah, that sounds awful. Okay, I just realized actually a giant troll. I just realized on anime. The average non will recommend this all-time classic every single time a person asks him for recommendations. Most of them rate the series a solid 10 of 10. That's amazing. Alright, I gotta know now. Boku no Pico. I'm looking it up.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, Hiromu Arakawa, this is our rabbit hole. Hiromu Arakawa was the writer of Boku no Pico. And I want to know what else she's making. Hiromu Arakawa new series.
There isn't even a TV. Oh wait.
What are you looking up?
I'm looking.
Boku no Pico.
Like here's the thing. It doesn't even have a TV tropes thing. Like it's if it doesn't have TV tropes, it's just not culturally relevant. Okay.
IMDb Boku no Pico has a 2.9 out of 10. That's out of 184 reviews. That's a spicy meatball right there.
What out of 10?
A 2.9 out of 10.
My personal goal is to corrupt the Superversives. Not even like to be evil, but just to do it, just to corrupt them.
I see. Okay. I just figured something out. So,
Mm-hmm.
that whole wiki I read with Hiromu Arakawa making it, that entire thing was a troll. It was to try and convince people to watch it. And I respect that somebody put in the effort to make that. That's actually amazing. Because here, none of those people, I'm looking at it on now Wikipedia. I guess it should be Infogalactic. I should probably add that add on. Oh well. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
let me try. Let me do that. Let me go Boku no Pico Infogalactic. Just so I could just so I could read it in the proper source.
Just watch it, okay? Just watch it.
Yes,
Come on, Anthony.
just watch it.
Come on, Anthony. Eat
All
the
right,
apple. Come on.
so that whole wiki that I read earlier. So that whole wiki that I read earlier, that was literally a freaking troll. None of it was true. All of it was made up to convince people, I think, to watch Boku no Pico. And that is simply incredible. None of the people who I said were involved in it were actually involved in it. Hiromu Arakawa was not involved. Whoever the director was, I'm pretty sure this is a different director, though maybe not, because I didn't recognize him myself. Is this the guy who directed the Big O? Nope, no, it's not. So, completely different director, though he did direct. He was a unit director on Mobile Suit Gundam Seed. I don't know. Let's see. And that entire plot summary was entirely fake. Somebody, like, not even slightly true. Somebody just made it up. I'm
Someone
speechless.
went on the internet and lied, and Anthony bought it. Ah! Actually, I bought it too, kind of.
I thought it was hilarious. You kidding? I am into this. I think that this is hilarious.
Now I'm gonna clip this stream. Boku no Piku. I am into this.
Just my favorite show. And this is just going to be all over the internet.
No,
You can never get rid of it.
Anthony, no.
I knew what I was getting into when I saw the DVD cover of Boku no Pico, which prominently emphasized this prepubescent boy's member. And then I realized maybe the greatest anime ever made? No.
There it is, boys. There it is.
The full quote. Oh man, that's really funny. Somebody created a fake Boku no Pico wiki page. But you want to know something? It almost worked, but they went just a little bit too far.
We almost
It's
went, boys.
a shame, because
We
it would have
almost
gotten
went.
me. It would have gotten me. It went just far. My suspicions up. If they hadn't put that little, I might have believed it. But instead, I had to look deeper into it. It was just too much.
It was too much. That's what he said.
I feel like maybe our best ever stream, Ben.
It is not, but it's not even
I don't
close.
think we've ever had a better stream. I don't think we've ever had a better stream than this one.
No, I don't think so. I think we have had many different better streams. It's just like, I don't know what show you're watching.
This entire stream, we just decided to randomly Google Boku no Pico, and that's what we've been discussing for like a solid 10 minutes now.
You know what I'm
Oh,
discussing right
man.
now? Xeon did
Oh,
nothing
man.
wrong.
What happened?
Well, in Mobile Suit Gundam, Xeon did nothing wrong. Yeah.
My favorite did nothing wrong is Reinhard von Lohengram.
But he
Because
didn't, though.
because he actually didn't. Unlike everybody else, who everybody says that to be edgy, I would actually argue that Reinhard von Lohengram did nothing wrong.
As you do.
Reinhard von Lohengram is the actual hero of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and he was the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, kids, it's okay to be a dictator if everybody else you are up against is evil.
Yeah. If the people acclaim you and you didn't have to threaten them, you probably have the mandate of heaven.
That's the moral of Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
It's all about that public acclamation, baby.
Such a good show. So, this is another one of those topics that we end up discussing like every few weeks. But it's my favorite. It's always my favorite when you get into the like the X did nothing wrong. You hear Griffith a lot from Berserk.
Yeah, but he
Uh,
did something wrong.
yeah, but
Like,
and you hear same Griffith. You hear Valentine from JoJo. But those are memes. Those are like we know that Valentine Griffith did something wrong. The reason Lowengram is my favorite is because I would actually make the argument that Lowengram did nothing wrong.
you see, here's the
Megabuster
thing.
Shepard says Franco was a great guy. He was.
He was
No,
revitalized Catholicism in Spain.
I actually don't know anything at all about Franco, so I decline to take part in this discussion.
So really, it's half a meme, but also it's pretty true. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff out there that's just like almost thank goodness just because um, guys like Franco existed and took care of business for everyone. What is this? This is a red crested sphinx.
Yeah, Megabuster Shepard says I don't. Neither do I. Lol. As in, I think he means I don't know anything about Franco either. Yeah, I just don't know anything about him. Uh, I do know Lowengram though, and Lowengram did nothing wrong. So the argument in Legend of the Galactic Heroes, I think that the argument you have to make are any of the wars that Lowengram fought, were they all just wars? Was he justified in fighting in every war that he was in? And I think you can make the strong argument that the answer to this is yes. He was both justified in fighting these wars, and he was humane in his battles. Uh, the only time where he does something morally questionable is I forget the name of the planet, but there was a whole thing where Oberstein manipulates him into sending his men in late so that a planet is massacred, and it makes the people that did it look bad because he could have stopped them, but he does, but he doesn't. So it makes them look bad, and it's good for him politically. But then Kirchai's like absolutely, rips him to shreds over it, and this is something that's like eating at him over the course of the entire series. And even then, it's morally questionable, but it's not like outright evil. Uh,
Hmm.
so I would say, as far as like the major wars that he fights, I mean the Federation government, the what is it? The Alliance? Are they called like the Free Planets Alliance? That's it. Yeah, the Alliance government is unbelievably corrupt. Certainly, you can hardly say that they were better off under the Free Planets Alliance government than under Lowengram. Uh, the ruling craft, if anything, were worse dictators under the Free Planets Alliance than the actual dictator in the Galactic Empire. Uh, I don't know. It's a really, really good show. Megabuster Shepard says I need to watch it. Bradford raves about it constantly. Yeah, you really should watch it. I will say this: it's a very slow burn. There are a lot of episodes where nothing happens, but some of the set pieces are just magnificent, and it's really smart. You feel smarter after watching it. It's a good show. Personally, I think, yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to add. I mean, I'm trying to avoid like talking too much about, since it's another one that we do like every week. So I don't want to really dig into it. But it's a good show. Recommended. Ben, what do you have? It's your turn.
For what?
I don't know. I finished what I wanted to say.
Listen, Anthony. There comes a time in a man's life when a man has to abandon all pretenses and become more than just a meme. He must dive deep, deep into the black abyss of the anime world.
Watch
Hmm.
Boku no Pico.
Yes. So should I sacrifice? So it's weird. It's like there's a like it's like, yeah, sacrifice the zombie pirates. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, they're zombie pirates. Why would you not like? I don't know. Like, sometimes this game is weird with its choices. Like, I hate diplomacy in games. They are some of the stupidest, like, just the worst. And it's so frustrating too. Like, people don't understand how frustrating some of these games are with their diplomacy. Like, legitimately, I want to just like break something sometimes because it's like, no, you dumb POS, you know, just because I'm okay with if I'm playing Tomb Kings and I'm just okay with the Skaven, um, it doesn't mean that I'm, uh, you know, okay with everything else that ever exists. Okay, like, just because I'm okay with the Skate and the Ratmen living in my territory because I'm the Tomb Kings. If they touch even one gold coin, I'm going to wipe them out, and they know it. Like, it's just
You
frustrating.
should just make let's just make an anime based on your playthrough of Warhammer.
It's mostly me just killing people, Anthony. Like, it's leaving piles of skulls all the time.
Perfect. You're the main character.
It's not going to be a good main character. This isn't going to be good, boys. It's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of dead bodies.
All
Eh,
right. So here is my suggestion for next
yeah.
week. I genuinely have been wanting to discuss Kino's journey with you because I am very curious to see if you will like it or hate it. And I think that Kino's Journey is a show where I find it hard to think that you would be in between, like, you know, oh, I thought it was just meh. Because, first off, individual episodes vary wildly in quality. But just generally, the show itself is very much has its own style to it, and has its own feel to it. So I feel like
Hmm.
you either, if you don't like it, you probably just can't stand it. And I'm curious. I
I'm
want to know.
curious. Curiosity got somebody to watch Boku no Pico.
Probably. There's
And
probably
by
some
that I
poor
mean
soul.
kill the cat.
There's probably some poor soul out there who read that wiki of Boku no Pico and said, "Oh man, that sounds cool."
How many brothers have fallen? Is this why we're here? Just to suffer? Eh,
I honestly have deep respect for the people who made that fake wiki because they went all in, but they could have done better.
they could have done better.
They really could have. They went too far. They had that whole thing with Hiromu Arakawa as the writer and Yoko Kanno doing the soundtrack, and I would have bought it. But then they had to add that thing at the bottom, like, oh, anime redditors always give it a 10 of 10. Like, why would you say that?
Like, that's too far.
Why?
We know what Reddit
It's
is.
too. Yeah, what are you even talking about? Why would you even bring that up?
Oh no, somebody's cosplaying Boku no Piku. Pika, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is in the danger zone. This is in the danger zone. Yeah.
You have someone who read that wiki and just says it and just says casually in conversation. Yeah, I've never watched Boku no Pico, but I'd probably like it.
Bradford Walker has joined us. Speak his name and he comes. I heard someone mention Mine Kaiser, and I came as fast as I could. This is why Mega Buster Shepherd's like, this is why I ignore diplomacy and sneak bombs in their embassies. Civilization is a magical game. Bradford Walker says, diplomacy, stalling for time until you have the means to conquer them. So, I was playing this
Mr.
game.
Walker, we were talking about how Reinhard von Lohengrin did nothing wrong.
Unironically did nothing wrong. You have to add that in there.
Yeah, unironically did nothing wrong.
So, I was playing this game and I was talking to David, and I enjoy playing the Tomb Kings, partially because all their units are free, but also because they've got this like great aesthetic to them. And I don't like using the chariots though, and they're like, yes, we're the chariot civilization, and I'm like, I like these giant moving statues though. That's what I like. Anyway, that's what Ben likes. So I was talking to David, right, and I am just crumping the orcs. I am shattering their cities and citadel's.
Crumping?
Crumping. You crump the big orc and you become the big orc. That's how it works. Um,
Of course. I'm sorry, dumb question. Keep going.
Thank you. So like I'm sitting here. I've got like 3 armies just ravaging the place, and David goes, and I'm talking to David, and I go, yeah, well, I made a peace treaty with the Knights of Origo, even though they're on rightful Tomb King soil. I don't really want to fight them right now. And he's like, but Ben, they're on rightful Tomb King soil. And I like, and there was this pause, right? There's like a legitimate pause as I thought about what I just said, and I said, you're right. And then you see like a million chariot army pull a U-turn in the desert and just like, like rumble down into there. Even though like the Knights of Origo were one of the most powerful factions somehow, like it wasn't gonna end well. And I smashed them. But then the Empire actually pulled itself together somehow. And you know what that means? Angry Germans.
But
This,
when doesn't it mean that?
I know. It's like, oh, look at the time. It's time for more Germans. Oh, looks like. So I don't know if you've seen this, but there's this great video by Dova Hattie that just came out called "The Defenestrations of Prague," and it's about the four
Oh,
defenestrations
you
of
linked
Prague.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
you linked it earlier, but I didn't have time to watch it yet.
See, I'm a big fan of Dova Hattie. Funny guy. He understands how to write something from the perspective of a potential civilization. So like he did his unbiased Roman history, and it was literally an unbiased Roman history from Roman perspectives. Uh, so make of that what you will. So he does this, and like he did one on the defenestration of Prague from the Bohemian Hussite perspective. And it's like, yeah, it's what I like. Ooh.
Lord
Anyway,
Cetra, Mega Buster Shepherd says Lord Cetra is imperishable. I don't
he
know what that
is
means.
imperishable.
What
That's
is
his
that from?
that's his title, Cetra the Imperishable.
I see.
Yes.
Bradford Walker says if only Kirchice were here. Yes.
Yep.
Everybody, let's put an F in the chat for Kirchice. If Kirchice were here, then Yang Wen Li would be dead.
So anyway, what was I talking about a few seconds ago?
It's the best stream, guys.
Shut up, Anthony. You're making it post-ironic, and we hate that. We hate post-ironics, don't we?
Depends on the context. Meanwhile, we actually got F's in the chat for Kirchice, and I appreciate that.
Bradford
He
Walker
deserves
does
it.
the capital F. The capital F for Kirchice. You're absolutely right. Look at this Chad. So, anyway,
Well, I know what we can discuss
now what
for our
was I
final
talking?
15 minutes of the stream.
Yeah, what is it?
Pinkerton.
Oh,
Pinkertons.
yes. By the way, Bradford Walker and Mega Buster Shepherd. I know both of you are writers or writer adjacent. I'm working on a Mega Buster. You know me on Twitter and probably Facebook, but Bradford, you know me on Facebook. Send me. If Char was here, you wouldn't need enemies. You're absolutely right. Send me information you want and or need to be able to write an episode of Pinkerton's Ghosts, because that's kind of important to me. Like, I have a pretty good image of what I need to do, and I'm gonna edit whatever I get because, unlike most creators who absolutely are allergic, we'll say, allergic to managing their own IP for reasons I don't understand. Um, like I need to be able to like provide something for it. If you guys are going to contact me in the space outside the live stream, I could create something and put something together that'll really, make it pop. Chaos stirs early in the game.
I am very interested to see what other people can do in the Pinkertons universe.
I lost two things of Star Spears. No.
So,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, early on in the episode, I mentioned that I was currently in the middle of writing episode 12. So here is all probably two of the people, probably literally just Bradford and Mega Buster Shepherd at this point. For our two members of the audience watching, you get a sneak peek of episode 12 of Pinkerton's. So this full story has been plotted out, has been for a while, and I wanted to get it done earlier, but I've had a ridiculously busy week uh, with my other job, so I am currently writing it. And the episode 12, for once, I actually titled it in advance. Normally, I don't title these until after I finish them, but episode 12 is titled Mystery Meat. And It takes place in the fictionalized version of my hometown, known as my actual hometown. I won't say, but the fictionalized version of the town is known as Colesville. And Colesville is a small-ish farming community, 5 minutes away from a major highway, but that looks as if it should be, as if it's rural. And our main boy for my stories, Sean, grew up in Colesville, and his ex-wife still lives there, so he hates the place. He has been called down to Colesville because one of the farms was recently bought out by a large corporation, and a Pinkerton contact reported that there appears to be some sort of large scale concealment sorcery being used in that area that wasn't previously, and nobody knows what that means. So Sean, being the Pinkerton who knows the area the best, has to go in and investigate. And he discovers something that he did not expect. I think that the last story that came out, the last Sean Russo story, was titled "Bad Service," and I think it came closer to my original concept behind the Sean Russo stories, which is that they were always going to be a little bit more humorous than the others. Not exactly, they're not straight up comedies, but there was always in my head anyway, intended to be like an edge of black humor to the Sean Russo stories, which I think I captured better in Bad Service. And this
Mm-hmm.
continues somewhat in Mystery Meat. Uh, the humor here, though, I think is more subtle. It's that Colesville is the exact opposite of Shipton in almost every way, and Sean claims early on that he actually hates it here even more because he grew up in Colesville and his parents died there when he was a teenager, and his ex-wife still lives here, and he really, really like being near this place. It brings back bad memories of the person he used to be. Since Sean can divide his life into into two very distinct stages, the pre-Pinkerton days and now going on for a couple of years, the post-Pinkerton days,
Mm-hmm.
because Sean's backstory, Sean is a different type of character, I think, than the other Pinkerton detectives. The other Pinkerton detectives were the sort of people who were born for this job, I think, and Sean was not born for this job. Sean was somebody who thought he was born to be, to be kind of a playboy. You go home and sleep with the prom queen type of guy, and after he loses everything, he needs to rebuild his life from the ground up, and everything that he values, everything that he thought was important, and everything that he used to value, it turns out was not so important and didn't matter at all. And the things that used to, you know, that he used to ignore or consider irrelevant or was just background fodder in his life. In this case, Sean grew up as a Catholic. His name's Sean Russo, so he's Italian Irish family, but it was more, he grew up as a Catholic because that's what Italian people and Irish people were. They were Catholic. It's a cultural thing. You don't really care. Sure, you got your first communion, right? You attended your CCD classes, but you did it because that's what you did if you were, you grew up in an Italian, with an Italian father and an Irish mother. You don't care about it. It's not something that thing. But now Sean is in a world where all of the stuff that he thought mattered no longer does, and this thing that was just kind of in the background in his life is now the only thing that matters to him and is center to everything he does. So this return to Colesville to him is a reminder of both the life that he lost, and he did lose his wife. So it's not all, it's not all a straight shot improvement, but also of the miserable person, of the terrible person that he believes he used to be versus the person that he is now. And Sean does not like to think about that. So the Colesville story is a very going back to Colesville. It's a very personal thing to Sean, and he does not like it. So that is, as far as the story itself, the horror of the story will involve what is going on at the farm that Sean investigates, and he expects to see all sorts, and he's looking for all sorts of things. Sean is open to anything, and even he is surprised at what he finds, and hopefully you, the reader, will be a little bit as well. So there is your sneak peek of episode 12 of Pinkerton's Ghosts,
Yes.
and an inside look in the head of the author.
Yes.
What are you working on next, Ben, for our
So,
two listeners?
we have three. So,
One is me, though, so
oh
two.
no, bamboozled. So I'm actually working on three things. The first one is making sure that I have a thing for um, uh, people to use to sort of write their own, and I want to get it out before the end of the month. I'm also working on two Jack Morrow stories. The first one is going to be Jack Morrow in White Croc, which is the first part of White Croc Green Sun, uh, which is a name that I have been waiting to use for months now. The second one is Jack and the Wild Hunt, which will be a unauthorized, because we are unauthorized now. Fox Day's like, yeah, sure, we'll give you a shot, and he slapped it up, and I'm like, ha ha, we made it. We're not getting paid, but we made it. Nor would we want to be, partially because Pinkerton's Ghost has a small but loyal fan base, but also because it would be inappropriate. So, because I don't sell out for my art.
So if I, by the way, I tried to look for us on unauthorized, and I didn't find us. We're already up.
Yeah, just now. Or sometime during the week.
Um,
Unless you took us down.
unauthorized,
Please, no.
unauthorized TV, right?
We are at the very bottom.
If you look, it's unauthorized TV.
Yep. Slash catalog. But you have to be a member.
Can I find us even if we're not?
No.
Slash catalog. Because if I Google unauthorized Pinkerton's Ghost, I can't find us. I am not a
Right.
member.
Right. It's hidden behind the membership.
Oh, okay, so that's why. So, out of curiosity, are we getting any more views on unauthorized that you know of? I have no idea what you can see or not see.
I have no idea how many views we get. So which is fine. Like honestly, I'm not.
It is fine, yes.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it for now. So like, this is like stage one. This is stage two. Stage one was us producing a set of episodes to prove that we can do it. Stage two is us spreading out and flapping our wings like dodo birds before we can flap our wings like eagles. So, I'm just trying to think of it.
Hey, you know what? If we put up something every week, though, I'm sure that will
Yes.
build our audience.
Yes, it will. So, I'm also writing something called Jack and the Wild Hunt. It's going to be an extra long episode that I'm going to keep on unauthorized until next Halloween. It's just a bonus. Uh, but it'll take me a while longer to do it. And it's basically Jack Morrow is hunted by the Wild Hunt. and he must basically they show up in one of his safe houses, which are literally abandoned buildings in the middle of nowhere, and go, "Hey, we're gonna hunt you on such and such a date." And Mega Buster Shepard says, "I need to use a dodo bird in a horror story somehow." And Bradford Walker says, "Razor Fist is on unauthorized
Horseman
and
at
he's
some
doing well
point if
there."
we're doing Americana.
Oh yeah, sorry, what?
We should bring in the Headless Horseman at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Um, I don't have anything for it now, but I will bring it in eventually. Right now, I'm just hitting like my goal
If
for.
anybody,
Hmm?
for the Headless Horseman, if anybody's going to do it, it would make more sense for Sean to meet him, I think. Just
Yes,
because of the area that he's located in.
yes,
I'm trying to imagine Sean's interaction with the Headless Horseman, how that would even go, and it could be amusing.
right. He's trying to talk to it. It's like you can't even respond to me, can you? So, um, I'm just trying to think through my words here. With um, Pinkerton's Ghosts, I need to spread us out to Acast and iTunes, and I've been talking about it for a while, but I need to just do it. Problem is that I work 46 hours a week, and I'm very tired. Sometimes I even just sleep through alarms. That's how bad it is some days. And I'm feeling like I'm gonna burn
You
out
need
pretty
to
soon.
get my alarm. The alarm that I use is one of those old-fashioned metal bell alarms. Like they look like the alarms that you see in like old cartoons that literally hammers the bells, and it is
Fantastic.
super loud.
I love it.
You will not. It costs $5,
I need it. All
but
right.
you will not sleep through it. And I've had it probably for like 15 years. Place the battery works. If it slows down, I swap out batteries and it keeps going.
Yep.
Uh, I recommend it.
So what I plan on doing is spreading out, and then I'm gonna release unauthorized only episodes, and encourage you guys to also do them. Basically, the Wild Hunt's gonna show up at Jack's pad and go, "Hey, you're our next target." Because we want to give you a fighting chance. We are elves and gods after all. You get a supercar, and it's going to be like a Pontiac Firebird or something, like a Firebird, whatever it is, like a super cool like sports car, not a sports car, a muscle car. And Jack's going to be like, "You serious? I don't know anything about mechanics." "Don't worry about it." And a dwarf waddles in, and it's like, "Okay, dude. Alright, if you want to survive the wild hunt, we're gonna have to work together." And so Jack's gonna build this awesome car, and he has to race the wild hunt to a church in Colorado. And if they
That's
get,
fantastic.
and he basically has to fight his way through it. So it starts off, it's like, okay, this ain't so bad. And it's like, oh no, I hear the horns. And he has to race them through the canyons and caves of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado to try and get to a church in time. If he can get onto the church, he's safe. Doesn't have to enter the church, doesn't even do it. He has to put one foot or his body or whatever onto the steps, and he's safe. And they won't come after him for 7 years. And he's like, "What do you mean won't come after me for 7 years?" "Oh, we're coming back, dude. That was awesome." Oh. And so he's gonna.
That sucks. That's funny.
It's like you killed
Well,
like
great. You
70
just
of us.
revealed the ending.
All right, you're welcome. Uh, but it's one of those things like the execution is going to be amazing. I've got some ideas I haven't said anything about that you're just going to love it. But it's going to be unauthorized exclusive until next Halloween. Um, and I think that's really going to help us build a fan base there. Because, like, iTunes, Acast, they're just places, and I'm shotgunning it. Unauthorized is the place I want to do it for several reasons. First, Unauthorized has audiobooks, but not necessarily proper fiction streams. It's got documentaries, Big Bear, gardening,
Until now.
and we're the first. So the big thing uh, is us just doing the work now. Like, we have to be the deltas. We have to do the work. And we'll go through it forever. Like, Vox is being incredibly gracious to us, offering his, letting us, upload and stuff like that to this.
Vox has offered to contribute a story.
He has. But I wasn't going to talk about it. Sorry.
I don't know. I didn't think that was a secret.
Yeah, like, it's one of
Should
those.
it have been? I didn't. That didn't occur to me.
No, it's not a secret, but it's like it's one of those things where I didn't want to say anything about it until it was a surefire thing.
I didn't make any promises. I
Right.
won't make any promises.
No one made any promises to anybody. Like, he could be like, "Yeah, I don't like it." I've seen how you guys talk about Boku no Pico.
My favorite anime.
My favorite anime. It's got this cute girl and this guy, and wait, that's not a girl.
Hiromu Arakawa wrote it.
It's got a Yoko Kanno.
Yoko Kanno soundtrack.
Da da da.
Just look at the wiki. What a wiki. 10 of 10 on our anime.
Honestly, like, the 10 out of 10 on our anime was the lie too far.
It was. Because it was more like everything else I kind of bobbed. And that's like, why are you mentioning this? Yeah. Like, why would you just bring up what they say on our anime? Like, who even cares? Something's, I'm going to look in. That's what made me go, something's not right here. I gotta look into this more. And then I saw the IMDb, and it has a 2.9 out of 10. And incredible. Just incredible. And you're right. I don't think it has a TV tropes page. Let's see. Boku no Pico TV tropes. No. Oh, it does.
It does?
Oh, wait. No, it's just reviews. And there are no actual reviews of it. Nope. It's too bad.
Yep.
I want to know. I want to know. My favorite Hiromu Arakawa anime. I'm gonna recommend it to somebody and see if they actually fall for it.
Imagine being on Reddit. Disgusting. You're absolutely right, Mega Buster Shepherd.
Okay. It's 9:05, and I actually have to finish the story.
You do. Alright. Have a good one. See you guys. It's always a pleasure.